Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Triangle Offense. I'm Munish, and as always, I'm joined by Nishant. Phew, what an exciting day today. The Warriors come from behind victory against the Miami Heat, went into overtime, and then Steph Curry decided to be Steph Curry. But I think we are talking about Steph Curry a lot. I think it was all Bazemore today. What an incredible game. Did you get a chance to watch that?
Yeah, I saw the highlights. I want to go back and watch the whole game. Steph Curry, it looked like, and tell me if I'm wrong, that he strung it up all through regulation time
Yes.
and then turned it on in
Yes.
overtime, pretty much.
He had his worst career shooting night. I think he missed like what he was like
11
3 out of
threes.
16 or something.
Yeah,
And then he decided to hit 2 threes. And
I think it was 2 of
Steph
13
Curry.
at the end of the game, which is sad.
Yeah.
At the end of regulation time.
But that's Steph Curry. If you're watching the highlights, I think you should also watch the Jazz thrashing the Clippers. I think you'll enjoy that, given how much we mocked the Clippers all these years, all this while. I think you'll enjoy Jazz thrashing the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, this was load management max on the Clippers, though. So it's kind of like that's a dampened result.
Jazz definitely look like the best team in the NBA right now. 21 wins out of the last 22. And they're beating all the top teams as well now. And this is why I want to talk about the All-Star voting today. Because once you look at the names, you'll not find a single Jazz player on there. And we'll talk about the deserving candidates and the whole leading and all of that in today's episode. All right. So let's get, and these teams are going to be announced tomorrow. So we're going to get our picks before the official list comes out. So let's start off with the Eastern Conference. And I think in the Eastern Conference, the front court should pick themselves, right?
Yeah.
Giannis, KD, and Embiid. Embiid is probably a runner for the MVP, so he's definitely going to be there. Giannis, can't really fault him for Bucks' miserable run of late, but he's amazing. And KD doesn't look like he's missed 18 months of basketball. He's shooting 43% from three, averaging almost 30 per game. So any debates there? Anyone else you think should be there?
None at all, none whatsoever. Like,
Okay.
who are your alternatives really in the front court?
Not really.
Even if you stretch it,
yeah, they're the starters for sure. When it comes to the backcourt now, another Kyrie Irving and Bradley Beal were leading the votes, but do you think they deserve it? Like, I'm sure Bradley Beal deserves it, leading the average points per game, of course. But Kyrie Irving, he went missing midway through the season. Do you think he deserves to be in the All-Star starting lineup for the East?
I mean, when you expose yourself to fan voting, whoever fans say deserves it, right?
But would you pick him?
If these were the questions that were to be asked, we should have done media only voting like the MVP. Would I pick Kyrie? I'd probably have gone James Harden over Kyrie.
Yeah.
But,
highest assists.
Yeah, but they're close, and it's Kyrie lead. It's fine. I think either of them you can't really go wrong. Bradley Beal, I'm glad to see there finally getting a shot at it, and topping the guards in the East. So that's a big deal for him. But otherwise, Kyrie, James Harden, that's interchangeable for me.
You wouldn't pick Jaylen Brown in there?
Yeah, I would, but I'm saying between those two, it's fine. It's not really gross injustice if one gets picked over the other.
All right. How about the reserves? Who would your reserves be there? So Jaylen Brown, of course, has to be there given the insane start to the season that he's had. He's kind of overshadowing Jason Tatum down there at Boston. So I would put Jaylen Brown in there. For your second guard in the reserves, would you pick Trae Young? Given it was up to you. Trae Young, Zach LaVine, Jeremy Grant. Who would your second guard be there?
Oh, I think Grant falls into the front court because he plays more of a wing. So then if I'm picking between Trae, LaVine is a tough pick. That's a really tough pick. I have a personal bias towards Zach LaVine, but again, this is a pick where you can't really go wrong whichever one you choose, and Trae does have the upper hand. Looking at the rest of the East though, and when we come to that, that's where the real debate lies, because I think Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, Trae Young, they're fine. They're not all stars. They deserve to be there. But as you move down the list, there are a couple of sentimental votes that are coming in.
Yeah, there are. There is, before we even move to the sentimental votes, there's an incredible stat about Zach LaVine that I just happened to read.
Yeah.
45 players have played more fourth quarter minutes than Zach LaVine. But Zach LaVine tops them all in points scored in the fourth quarter. That's incredible. It shows that he's getting more clutch by the day. The experience is adding up, and he's ready to make a move to a big team, I think.
Yeah, even matches So last 1 minute of the fourth quarter, matches that are within 5 points margin. Zach LaVine is second in the league this season in scoring. First, of course, is Dame Lillard. Lillard leads the league in this since 2012. So, like, if you take the summation, the last 9 years he's been the most clutch last minute scorer in the league, and then this season he continues to do so, and LaVine is second. So he really deserves a shot.
Other front court reserves, Jason Tatum definitely one of them. Now amongst the others, Tobias Harris, Chris Middleton, Julius Randle. Who would you pick? Julius Randle has been having an amazing season, averaging 22 points, 11 rebounds. Chris Middleton is almost in that 50, 40, 90 club this season. I think he has an 89% free throw. He'd be in that club. And Tobias Harris, there's a reason why Philadelphia are topping the charts in the East. And Tobias Harris is definitely one of the reasons. And amongst all of this, we forgot Ben Simmons.
Yeah, again, so Simmons again falls into the guards, but on the front court, with fan voting, what happens a lot of times is then it's a lot about who's top of mind, who has the hype, who has the narrative with them. And Philadelphia's narrative is entirely Embiid. It's Embiid, he's back, he's playing at MVP level. That's the only story they're telling. So then Tobias Harris kind of gets slighted. Ben Simmons is going to be a tough pick for the All-Star. Any season where he's not lighting it up on offense, he's going to be a very tough pick for the All-Star game because defense isn't as sexy. So you're not going to get those many picks. Like if Kawhi wasn't Kawhi at the offensive end, it wouldn't matter the level of defense he played. He wouldn't be a starter at least, even if he would make it to the All-Star game. So that kind of explains why Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons lost out, so to speak. Julius Randle, I must say, finds himself in the All-Star reserves. If he's picked, he's there in the 20-man shortlist. Well deserved in that New York Knicks team to grind out results, to play like this. And he's been putting up pretty spectacular numbers. I can't argue against his inclusion. I really can't. In fact, Bam, who the results have been atrocious, regardless of how he's been playing, and he hasn't been playing spectacularly well. He's been good.
Right.
He's been the Bam Adebayo we know, but he's now on a max contract. So you're not that young fledgling, he's developing year on year anymore. Now you've got to be accountable, and the results are atrocious. I would even argue Randle deserves it above Adebayo, but it's fine if both of them make it. If we had to pick one, I'd pick Julius Randle this season.
Any other names that you see are missing that you think should be on this list? Any deserving candidates? I for sure can think of Van Fleet. I mean, Toronto had a horrid start of the season, of course, but they're in the way up. They're trending upside, and one of the reasons is Fred Van Fleet. And you saw that monster game that he had, where he put up 50 plus points, and he's been consistent ever since.
Yeah, so he's in there. Van Fleet is at the right on the fringe. He's 10th in the guards. So he can be brought to the All-Star game, but that's a coach's pick because he's in the reserves and last among reserves in voting. So then the coach could technically pick. And there are a couple of names in the East that Van Fleet can leapfrog if the coach has any sense. Like, I don't think Russell Westbrook sits above him in voting. I don't think he deserves it. He has triple double. When does he not have triple doubles? But what is the results are atrocious. They're truly terrible. And it's not just that, he's playing well, but the team's not able to get it done, or that he's not able to lead the team. He's not playing well. Like, I don't know how to explain. Russell Westbrook is one of those anomalies where he'll have all the numbers in the world, but he's not really playing that well. When it matters, he's making mistakes. When it matters, he's not sinking shots. Decision making's off in the fourth quarter. The wrong pass, the wrong shot selection, all of that. So I'd make Fred Van Fleet leapfrog Russell Westbrook. I'd even make him leapfrog Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose has been playing well, but relax everyone. And I'm his biggest fan. I've said this before on this podcast. But this is sentimental voting. Like, there's no way Derrick Rose is above Fred Van Fleet in All-Star voting.
True. All right. So that was our East. Any comments on the final five? I mean, if you have to recap that, the center would obviously be Joel Embiid and probably should deserve the highest votes, although KD is leading. KD and who was it at number 3?
It's KD, Giannis and Embiid, basically.
Giannis. How can I forget Giannis? So KD, Giannis and Embiid in the front court.
The thing with the East, with the Eastern Conference, the big three that just about writes itself. So it's KD on the wing, Giannis at the 4, and Embiid at the 5. That was easy. Among the guards, what we're really debating is between Bradley Beal, Kyrie, and James Harden, which two should start? Which two of those three should start? If this was a pure basketball decision, you'd start James Harden and Kyrie Irving. Sorry, Bradley Beal, but if you're going by voting, then it is Bradley Beal and Kyrie Irving, and it's fine. I think we can live with that result.
All right, so let's move to the West. Again, I think the front court picks itself in LeBron and Jokic for sure. At the number 4 spot, you could probably have, at the wing spot, you could call it, you could probably have Kawhi, Paul George as a pick. I would actually like to see, do you think Zion Williamson deserves a pick given the way he's playing there?
Sure, but I don't think he's been playing better than either Kawhi or Paul George. So,
okay.
And the voting seems to reflect it, surprisingly. I'd have expected him to grab more votes than Paul George with the kind of hype he has. But no, I don't think he's been playing better than either of those guys. And it's the
LeBron,
if you let a coach pick, it's going to be the whole rookie versus vet thing, and he's going to lose out anyway.
So LeBron, Kawhi, and Jokic pick themselves.
Yeah. So it's a weird little, because when you have LeBron, Kawhi, and Jokic, who's the 4 really? Because LeBron and Kawhi are
there's
both
no
wings.
4. There's 3.5.
Yeah, there's 3 quarters, and then there's a straight up 5 and a 5 who plays like a 1. This is like this is numerology on an NBA court. But yeah, I think that's a pretty straightforward. Had Anthony Davis been fit, that would have been an interesting.
He would have been the obvious number 4, I guess.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the votes for it. Kawhi and LeBron were both higher. But yeah, if he was fit, he'd be the obvious 4, and then it'd be LeBron, AD, and Jokic, and that'll be a formidable front court. Not that this isn't, but it's the All-Star game. Who cares? So it's LeBron, Kawhi, and Jokic. AD misses out narrowly, but he's probably going to be injured anyway. Paul George misses out. He's going to be on the bench. I would assume he'd get picked to be on the bench. And then who we left with, right? Zion deserves a shot.
Rudy Gobert.
Surprised. I'm surprised that Wiggins is there. No, I'm reading the guys that are there, not the guys that aren't. So there's Wiggins, there's Christian Wood, well deserved. Brandon Ingram, sure. Carmelo Anthony, shocking. So Carmelo Anthony and Wiggins make it. I don't know on what sentimentality, but probably the hot favorite for DPOY right now. Gobert doesn't. And it, like I said, defense is not sexy, man. When Gobert starts shooting it like Embiid or Karl Anthony Towns, he'll make it. Defense is just not sexy enough. Like Carmelo Anthony and Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins beat you to the spot.
All right. Talking about shooting, I think we have a tough choice for the top 3 backcourt, right? I mean, 2 of the top 3 backcourt.
Yeah.
Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic. How would you pick 2 out of those 3? It's going to be impossible. If given a chance, I'd play all 3 of them and make Kawhi sit down or something like that.
Yeah, let me quickly first list the 10, and then we'll discuss like the segments, right? So Steph Curry leads voting for the guards. Luka Doncic is a distant second. Dame Lillard, then Donovan Mitchell, Ja Morant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, CJ McCollum, and get this, Alex Caruso. Now, knowing that Caruso should start, who's the other? So Steph leads the voting as he should. He gets almost a by default starting spot. Here's where it gets tricky though. So by voting, Luka Doncic should partner Steph Curry in the backcourt as a starter, and Dame Lillard is relegated to the bench. But performance, I would argue performance, and I would argue results favor Lillard heavily over Luka Doncic. In fact, if you're taking performance and results into account, you should probably say Dame Lillard is right up there with Steph Curry, if not higher than him. But again, it's fan voting. So Dame Lillard, as of now, is 3rd in the guards in the West. And so it's Steph and Luka. I would probably swap Lillard for Luka. It makes for incredible fun to have Luka on the court in the All-Star game, and I'd love to see him start. But if this is merit, Lillard deserves it. Now, who misses out? Donovan Mitchell, Ja Morant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Klay Thompson, CJ McCollum, Caruso. Now, none of these guys deserve it more than the big 3 that we mentioned, right? Steph, Luka, Dame. That's clear. So at least deserving reserves, right? And among them, Donovan Mitchell, good to see at least one Utah Jazz player represented, because they've been balling out, and there's no Gobert, there's no Conley, there's no Bogdanovic. but
Yep.
yeah, at least there's this guy. And Jordan Clarkson, all right, sixth man, tough shot to get into the All-Star game,
True.
but it's good to see Donovan Mitchell didn't have a bright start to the season, so he's really bounced back since then.
Yes.
Ja Morant is an absolute all-star. There's zero debate there. Both the Phoenix Suns backcourt boys make it. Klay Thompson's going to be out. McCollum's out. Caruso's not going to get picked. So I guess the West kind of writes itself, right? It's easy to pick the bench
Given
also just
that,
from injuries. Yeah.
Given that Ja Morant and Donovan Mitchell should probably make the reserves, and that means that Devin Booker and CP3 might just miss out. It's ironic that Phoenix Suns might make their first ever playoffs in a decade, and they won't have anyone in the All-Star game. And two big names, Devin Booker and Chris Paul.
Yeah, I guess it's because it's distributed load. If any one of them was carrying them, they'd be starting in the All-Star game. I guess it's just the fact that it's so well distributed that they kind of get by. We should probably put that in a trivia tomorrow as to when is the last time this happened that a team where playoffs is a bit much, right? Maybe top 5, that would be fun to look at. Top 5 in their conference, but nobody in the All-Star starting lineup.
Yeah, we should do that. Christian Wood, he might definitely not play because of his injury, but good to see his name out there. Incredible story. Incredible story, and so nice to see his name out there. Any other names that you think missed out? And I know you mentioned Mike Conley, who had the highest plus minus before he got injured in the entire league. So it's surprising to not see his name over there.
Yeah, like at least
someone like Klay Thompson making
Why is Wiggins there ahead of Mike Conley? That's the one that doesn't make sense to me. Or even Melo. Melo again is sentimental voting. He's been good. He's been impactful. He's not an all-star. Stop it now. If he's an all-star, Tobias Harris is an all-star. Everyone else is an all-star. So that makes zero sense. It's like in the East, if players like Jrue Holiday don't make it, why is Carmelo Anthony included in the All-Star game? Or for that matter, really, why is Andrew Wiggins included? Right?
Why is Klay Thompson included? He hasn't played in 2 years.
Who? Yeah, no, that's fine. That's typical troll voting. But so same as the case with Caruso, right? But Sabonis, who's been balling out, is not even close to being a starter in the East. And then you see Wiggins and Carmelo just being listed. That's a little much now. That's pushing it. But those are really the only major objections that I have. I think by and large they've covered everyone else. For me, Carmelo, Wiggins, they belong in the same bucket as DeRozan. They're playing well, but they're not really all-star caliber this season. And Jamal Murray, I think have we given up on Jamal Murray? Because I think
I have.
That's it.
Hey, he got a good 35 points today, so wrong day to be talking bad about him. But they ended up losing anyway. So
yeah, I mean, Davis Bertans also got 35 points, but you're not going to put him in the reckoning anywhere.
All right, so that's our. Also, the NBA has decided that they're going back to the East versus West format for this year. So there's not going to be a team LeBron for the first time since 2017.
That's good.
Given the starting 5 and the reserves, who do you think are the favorites? It's got to be LeBron's team always, but when you look at the opponents, it's KD, Giannis together along with Embiid. That's going to be a difficult defense to crack.
Yeah, it depends on how they play, because if it's anything like last year and it's going to be a tight fourth quarter and there's going to be those kind of Kobe rules and everyone's if people are playing defense, huge advantage to the East. Because the West starters, not like, look at that starting 5, right? You got what? Jokic, LeBron, Kawhi, Steph, Luka, except Kawhi, and maybe LeBron if he chooses to. There's nobody that can even spell defense on that team.
True.
Jokic is okay, he tries. Steph is okay, he tries. Luka barely even tries. That's a disastrous defense. And who do they bring in right off the bench? Paul George, okay, cool, can defend. That's about it.
Yep, that's about it. Zion Williamson will just watch. We'll just watch the guards go by and dunk it.
Exactly. And even among the guards, who do you have? Donovan Mitchell, decent defender. Lillard, these guys put in effort. Nobody is really lighting it up on defense outside of maybe Chris Paul, who's still pretty elite. And the East has just the A to Z of defense. Like Beal can put in a solid shift. KD is a bit like LeBron if he chooses to. Giannis and Embiid are locked down. They've got Tatum coming in off the bench, lockdown defender. Jimmy Butler, tough. Adebayo, tough. Right? Jeremy Grant, tough.
Tough.
And then in the guards, they've got Jaylen Brown, who's no less than Jason Tatum. So these guys are loaded. They've got Sexton to bring in if they need to. And their defense is fierce in the East. So if they're playing real defense, if that's real basketball, the East are hot favorites. If it's just a shootout, can't bet against the West.
All right. So that was our all-star picks. We'll see how the teams turn up when the votes come in tomorrow. The final votes come in tomorrow. Also, big game tomorrow: the Lakers versus the Nets. Excited for that. KD might miss out. I think he's confirmed to be missing out. Kyrie is a suspect.
This
game time
sucks.
decision.
This sucks when you have a game like this, like the Clash of the Titans, except it's the Clash of the. That's it. There's no Titans. Damn squib. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see. It's going to be a fun game, nevertheless.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to you after the game tomorrow.
Peace.